Well, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Jake Lambright. You're watching our Thursday, February 26th edition of the First Alert Weather Breakdown. A lot to talk about here today, including the fact we've got fire danger going down, which is a good thing. Still have burn bans and some things to be mindful of out there. We'll dive into that more here in just a second. Also, as we head into the latter part of next week, it's looking like our pattern will change and we'll have elevated chances for rain. We'll talk a little bit more about where those areas are. A little too early to get into a ton of the specifics here just yet, but again, I'll tell you what we know so far and what we're watching as we go through the next couple of days. Let's start off with a look at our burn bans this morning. You'll notice more and more counties and parishes seem to be added to the burn ban list each day across the Arklatex. Let me make that full screen for you. You can see in southwestern Arkansas, we've got Hempstead, Miller, Lafayette, and Columbia County all under burn bans. In northeast Texas, Red River, Bowie, Morris, Cass, Harrison, and Marion counties, and then out in northwest Louisiana, Caddo, Bossier, Webster, DeSoto, Sabine, and Wynn Parish all under burn bans. So we've seen a couple of things change the past few days whenever it comes to our fire danger potential. Again, it was very, very high there for a couple of days because we had, of course, the drought conditions. We also had very strong winds and low humidity. You can see right now relative humidity is anywhere from 75 to 85%. To put it into perspective where we had relative humidity as low as 20-25% a few days ago. So again, a great improvement. It means that the air is more moist, a kind of muggy feeling out there, so it doesn't feel as great to us, but when it comes to the fire danger, it certainly helps us a whole lot. You'll see as we head into the afternoon, relative humidity, especially along and north of I-30, will go down, but for the rest of us, it's not looking too bad. I want to fast forward things into Friday afternoon because, of course, we've got a front moving through. It's bringing us some drier air, not so much cooler air, but drier air. You'll see relative humidity tomorrow afternoon back ranging between 20 and 30% across much of the Arklatex. Now, winds have been another thing, like I said, that have been a problem for us the past few days. You probably stepped outside today and thought, wow, this is the first day, and as long as you could probably remember that it's not been super breezy out there, and thankfully winds today are not looking all that bad. I'm going to pull up our future wind gust here. If it'll load up for me in just a second. There we go. So as we head into this afternoon, this is about 4 p.m., you'll notice wind gusts between 5 and 15 miles per hour. And compared to the past few days, this is nothing. I mean, we've had wind gusts yesterday as strong as 35 miles per hour in some spots. Now, as we head into the night tonight, you'll see a couple spots there seeing wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. And then as we head further on into the day, let's go into Friday afternoon. You'll see wind gusts at their peak, maybe 10 to 15 miles per hour. Worst case, north of I-30, those wind gusts are even lower than that. So thankfully, not all that bad. I'll go ahead and kind of go into parts of your Saturday also. And again, wind gusts not looking too bad there. So for the first time in several days, winds are not going to be as strong, which is another reason why fire danger is a bit lower across the Arklatex. Now, speaking of, we talked about, of course, what humidity looks like, where we stand there, as well as winds. A big part of this, too, is also where we stand on ongoing drought conditions. And today's Thursday, which means that we just got that new drought monitor update in. So let me pull up the current drought monitor, and then we'll compare the latest update with last week's update. At first glance, I don't see a lot as far as changes go. I do see a big patch there of extreme drought conditions. Sorry about that. Extreme drought conditions. Let me make that full screen so you can see it. Again, out toward Alexandria, basically to the Louisiana-Mississippi state lines. That's outside of our area, but still a lot of severe drought, which is a level 2 out of 4 there on the drought scale, and then some extreme drought in parts of the Arklatex from McCurtain County all the way down to Camp County in northeast Texas. That's that red blob that you kind of see there on your screen out in northeast Texas. So again, dealing with some pretty substantial drought conditions. I'm going to pull up our comparison graphic now so you can kind of see this week's update versus last week's update, and I'm looking at it pretty close. Looks like that severe drought out toward Red River and Claiborne Parish was ever so slightly nudged to the north, but other than that, I'm not seeing a ton of changes. That patch there of extreme drought conditions that I was talking about, where you see the red on your screen, that really hasn't expanded much since last week's update. The only other difference that I've noticed is that there was a tiny little patch, if you look out just to the southeast of Nacogdoches in last week's update, that was still level 1 or moderate drought in tan. That's been filled in to severe drought level 2. But other than that, not a ton there as far as big and major changes with this week's drought monitor. So when it comes to between now and next week's drought monitor update, we probably won't see any change at all. In fact, I'll go and say we won't see any change at all. If we do see any changes, it might be that drought conditions deteriorate a little bit more. Even if we've seen rain by Thursday of next week, the data for these updates is collected on Tuesday, and I'm not expecting much in the way of rain between now and Tuesday. So here's a look at 7-day rain chances. Very low end chances today, very low end chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So again, not expecting much on that front. Here's a look at the latest 7-day rainfall forecast. And you'll notice as we get toward the end of next week, that's when rain chances really start to pick up across the Arklatex. There's that full screen view. And don't worry, more rain chances likely will make it further to the south as we go through the next couple days. I do want to check on an update here I saw just a second ago. But as far as now through Thursday, you'll notice high rain totals there along and north of the I-30 corridor, maybe up to an inch of rain there. But the further south that you get, you'll notice rain chances getting lower and lower. We do also, like I said, we have a low-end chance for rain today, and now this is just in from the Storm Prediction Center, a low-end chance for a couple of strong to severe storms. So let me go ahead and pull up that latest severe weather outlook. We'll talk more about extended rain here in just a moment, but of course, with this being today, I want to get you up to speed with this latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. So give me 1 second while I work to pull that up. See it on your screen there. 80 seconds. So that low and severe risk is for a very small sliver of the Arklatex. Basically from eastern parts of Webster and Claiborne Parish east out toward Ruston, Jackson Parish, parts of Wynn Parish as well. And then there's a slight risk for severe weather now in parts of northeast Louisiana out toward the Mississippi River. Again, that though not impacting us. And that's not for Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. I just pulled this in. So let me actually update that real quick. That date for you. So today is Thursday, February 26th. So again, that low-end risk for severe weather not impacting much of the Arklatex today. Actually want to see here, see if we don't have a hail risk graphic. Let me pull this in. For some reason that says tornado risk. I apologize. This literally just came in, so I'm kind of updating some of this on the fly here. Let's pull this up real quick and get some of this edited. Oh, here we go. So yep, that marginal risk for parts of the Arklatex was issued due to the potential for hail. I was kind of thinking that would be the case, and then high risk for hail out toward, again, the Mississippi River. So we'll be watching things today. Again, most of us are not under any kind of severe risk. East Texas not under severe risk. Southwest Arkansas, even Shreveport, Bossier, and Natchitoches not in any kind of severe risk. It's very, very low risk as you head out closer to Ruston. So really the extreme eastern parts of the Arklatex. All right, let's take a look here at future tracks, see what we're looking at as we go through the rest of the day today. Start things out here in a couple hours. This will be more later in the afternoon, early evening, and you'll see future track there again, really outside of the Arklatex. Try to put a few isolated showers and storms out there, out toward the Mississippi River. Again, if you have friends or family out there, the biggest concern with these would be some hail, maybe some gusty winds. But for us in the Arklatex, just not seeing much out of this. Maybe a few light sprinkles, but other than that, not expecting much in the way of strong to severe storms. All right, let's talk a little bit more about that extended outlook, because that's where we've got the better rain chances. It's not so much today, it's not in the near term, but a little bit beyond, maybe that 10-day forecast window, 10 to 12 days. I made this neat little graphic here that kind of highlights those areas a little bit more. So we'll start off with March 5th through the 7th, which is coming up here in about a week. This is the risk of heavy rain graphic from the National Weather Service. They have a moderate risk expanding basically from the Arklatex to DFW all the way north towards St. Louis, parts of Indiana through Memphis, the Mid-South. So again, so moderate risk of heavy rain. This is just saying, hey, the pattern's going to become more active. We've got some chances to see some more substantial rain in the forecast, maybe even some heavy rain in there as well. And so that moderate risk there, which is where we've got the better chance at seeing that, is going to be March 5th through the 7th for us in the Arklatex. But that's not our only chance at seeing some decent rainfall as we go through the next again, 10 to 12 days. So that would be next Thursday through Saturday that's specifically highlighting. Then that same window, the 5th, but extending out through the 11th, there's a slight risk that heavy rain continues, and that area is a little bit larger. It goes out to Dallas, the Arklatex, Houston, Memphis, St. Louis, all the way north to Chicago and Cincinnati. And again, we'll continue to see that active pattern through about the middle of March. We are getting into our primary severe weather season, and it's a little too early to say, whether or not we're going to see stronger storms with this or not. It is, again, we're getting into our primary severe weather season. It would not be a shock to see, a chance or two for strong to severe storms during that time window. So I'm watching it closely. There's nothing definitive right now, nothing to be concerned about. But as we get closer, if there's anything that jumps out to me, of course, we'll make sure to give you the first alert on that front. So again, really watching for heavy rain. The best chance for that's going to be late next week, Thursday through Saturday, but then that chance will continue on into the early part of the following week. All right, let's get a quick check out there of your current conditions before I hop off. You'll notice a good bit of cloud cover out there today on our visible satellite. Take a quick look here from our tower cam looking into downtown Shreveport. We've got some clouds you can see there on the camera. Sunny skies right now downtown. Temperatures warming up quick, already to 72 degrees out there right now. Winds are out of the south-southwest at about 8 miles per hour. Our wildfire we were watching in Cass County yesterday is now 100% contained. And actually, look at that. Not even any small fires popping up this morning across the Arklatex, which is exactly what we like to see. Again, as a reminder, I know we talked about it at the beginning, but a quick reminder, if your county or parish is in red, you're under a burn ban. Outdoor burning is strictly prohibited. And again, I would still kind of err on the side of caution when it comes to outdoor burning as we go through the next couple of days. Again, also this just in, as I was on the podcast, the Storm Prediction Center put parts of the Arklatex under a marginal risk for severe weather out toward Claiborne, Lincoln, Jackson Parish. That's a level 1 risk. I'm not expecting much in the way of strong storms, but we'll be watching. And if there's a stronger storm with some larger hail in there, of course, we'll give you the first alert and keep you posted on that. To round things out, let's take a look at your first alert 7-day forecast. See if I can get that to load up on your screen there. Again, there it is. High temperatures in the low 80s today and tomorrow, mid 80s for your Saturday. We are cooling down some as we head toward the start of next week, but temperatures quickly rebounding back into the mid and upper 70s. And just beyond that 7-day forecast, those more substantial rain chances are on the way. And hopefully that will bring us some much needed rain to help us with those ongoing drought conditions. All right, that's going to do it for me this morning with the First Alert Weather Breakdown podcast. You can catch me right back here on our streaming platforms at noon or on KSLA.com with a look at your weather update. Of course, Dominic Ben will be live with me with your news at noon. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow at 10:30.